The name is Desmond Oria Hogba, and I am from the University of the Western Cape in South Africa. So after receiving the feedback from the review of the abstract, I decided to change my title slightly. So my work in progress will be titled Centering IP in AI Strategies in Africa through a Techno-Legal Analysis. I have just 7 slides that I hope I should finish in the next 7 minutes. And my presentation, please pardon me, it's a high level, more like a high level summary of what I'm doing. It's just like a mind map. But before I start that, since the focus is the AI strategies in Africa, I just need to inform you that there is an emerging landscape. The AI strategies in Africa is emerging, and at the moment, the last I checked, we have 12 national strategies that have been developed so far, plus one regional, one continental AI strategy. Uh, um, then what my work has done is to focus on the AI strategy of the AU, that is the continental AI strategy, that of Benin Republic, that of Egypt, Ghana, Kenya, Mauritius, Nigeria, Tanzania, and Zambia. But I need you to note that Rwanda and Ethiopia do not mention IP, so I ignore them. I ignored the strategies for Rwanda and Ethiopia. The ones for the ones I mentioned earlier actually mentioned IP, and that's why I selected them, 9 of them. Senegal and Tunisia's AI strategies are not publicly available. I mean, if you have them, please share with me. Also note that there are sector-specific AI strategies that at the moment, I'm not looking at those sector-specific AI strategies. For instance, countries like Uganda, I think, have some sector-specific AI strategy focusing on the health sector and I think the ICT sector. I'm not looking at those ones. I'm looking at these are the strategies that are broad-based. Yeah. Then what is the objective? What do I seek to achieve with my research? I am simply analyzing existing AI strategies in Africa through a techno-legal lens to determine how best IP should be approached in AI policies in Africa, and whether there is a need to develop new IP rules for AI or revise or simply implement the existing IP rules within the AI context. Obviously, to do this, to carry out that objective would require an understanding of the AI IP issues. I will address that shortly. But my research question, which flows from the objective, would then be how best should IP be approached in AI policies in Africa? Should policymakers develop new IP rules for AI? Should they revise or simply implement existing IP rules within the AI context? Now, one thing that still keeps flowing to my mind is what really is the difference between strategies and IP? And policy. I see strategies more like broad statements, national statements of about an issue, right? What a country seeks to achieve. Why policy more like contains actionable objectives, actionable and also a program of action to achieve them. That's my view about the difference between. So while the strategies are there already, I know that countries will then obviously need them to develop policies as follow on the strategies for specific implementation. So that's the reason why the question is referring to policies instead of continuing the talk about strategies. But I subject to what I get, the feedback from this presentation, I can simply just go back and stick with strategy or stick with objectives. So this is me asking all of you to help me think. Yeah. But so my paper will deploy qualitative research methodology by way of document analysis to comparatively review AI strategies in Africa and other relevant sources to unpack the above issues. Of course, This will involve review or examination of the AI strategies will involve some techno-legal analysis, because the whole idea, flowing from the title, is to see, to be able to examine the strategies and link them to IP, or center IP in the strategies. One needs to understand how AI impacts IP, and how IP is impacted by AI. And of course, what that also means is what role IP law can play to advance AI technology or AI development in Africa. And that is obviously what techno-legal analysis is about. But of course, I'm centering it, I'm focusing on IP-related issues. What is the central argument of my ongoing work? I'm arguing, or I will be arguing, that the resolution of the questions of whether new IP rules should be developed for AI, and whether existing IP rules should be revised or simply implemented within the AI context in Africa, depends on the AI IP issues that are in focus. Now, whatever the case, on a broad level, a balanced approach to IP should be adopted in Africa, in African AI policies, and such approach must be human-centered, development-focused, and must equitably balance the urgency to promote AI innovation by enabling access to quality data with the need to protect IP rights and TK, as well as secure just reward for creators, inventors, performers, and indigenous knowledge. That is the central argument, really, in my work, and whatever recommendations I was making will flow from that argument. And it's that argument that will also inform my engagement with the IP issues. Now, I said before that I would point out the AI IP issues that are emerging, so far. And of course, even though IP affects different forms of IP as we know it, AI, sorry, affects different forms of IP as we know it. It's copyright and patent that keeps really thrown up as far as the impact is concerned. And to look at these issues, we would address them from three angles: the AI input side, which is the AI training side, and some of the questions that are arising from this side are on the screen. I don't know whether I have time to reel them out, but of course, on the AI input side, questions around whether AI generated inventions and works are protectable by IP, are thrown up, amongst other issues, including question around remuneration or attribution for IP owners. That is the owners of works that are used in AI training. On the other side, the second category of questions would be, arise on the AI output side. And then we'll start talking about questions around ownership, inventorship, and authorship of AI-generated inventions and works, But I need to also note that the questions of ownership is cross-cutting. It may also arise in the AI input side, but not with regards to AI-generated works, but regards to ownership of the data used for the training of AI systems. But my paper will be focusing more on the discussion on AI, on ownership, will be more on the AI output side. And of course, there is a development-oriented question that is arising. There are development-oriented questions that are arising again around the impact of AI in the IP space. But the focus of my work will be taking just one, which is the impact of AI on TK systems. And this is where notions like digital colonialism or techno colonialism, which flows from the techno-legal analysis, will really find relevance. How does AI impact TK, and what does Africa need to do in that space to ensure that what does policymakers in Africa need to do in that space to ensure that AI systems do not impact indigenous knowledge owners negatively, while also allowing access to traditional knowledge-based data for AI innovation. How then will I be structuring my paper? I hope I still have time, and this is my last slide. The introduction, where I would obviously tease out the main issues and briefly discuss the notion of briefly discuss what techno-legal analysis is about and link it to the concept of techno-colonialism. I will also then analyze selected AI strategies with particular focus on the IP objectives. I already mentioned these strategies earlier. Then part 3, we discuss the AI and IP related issues from an African perspective. But I would make reference to, judicial and policy development in places like US, Australia, China, and even in Europe. The reference would just simply be to show how these issues are emerging. As you know, there are some judicial activities and policy activities happening in that regard, and we need to just reference them and then situate the discussion within the African context. Then, of course, the fourth part we then determine the research questions, which I already pointed out above, and the conclusion will come in the fifth part. The conclusion will come in the fifth part, where I would also make useful recommendations. Like I said earlier on, it is a work in progress, and this is just a high-level presentation of my mind map as far as the paper is concerned. Thanks for listening.